everybody, how's it going? It's sunny and beautiful, but it's still a little chilly. I live in upstate New York, so we really don't get like summer weather until summer's kissing you, pretty much. But welcome to Monday's Mindful Message, and today we are going to talk about ego, because everybody has an ego. There is a healthy version of having an ego, and then there's an unhealthy version of having an ego, and we're going to talk about both and how it affects your life and your relationships. So let's get into basic ego. Everybody has that ego within themselves when they're like starting a new job or going to their first day of class. There's this natural I got this, I can do this, I'm capable of this. We all have that inner pep talk, even though we have nerves or whatever. We have that initial push within ourselves to keep ourselves going, and that comes from ego. And that's very healthy. You should always have that natural cheerleader in there. Sometimes it's tough, especially when you're dealing with like bullies and you're dealing with adversity. But to have that within yourself, to be like, you know what, I'm a good learner, or I will get this fast, or everybody has a first day, like I'm likable, people will like me. That's healthy ego, because it boosts your confidence. It's getting you pumped up and amped up for what you're about to do. Athletes use ego in this way all the time when they have a big game or halftime court or whatever. You know, they have that natural, like, we are the best, we can do this, we're going to crush it. And that's all natural and healthy ego, especially in a sports arena. If you said it outside, if like what you said in the locker room, if you just said it in general and you like weren't playing a sport, that would be unhealthy ego. Like, I'm the fucking best, I'm the king of the fucking roost or queen. You know, it's okay to use those moments when you're trying to pump yourself up to get your adrenaline going or to get the results you want. But when it comes to everyday life and dealing with other people, having that big head is the bad ego, which we're getting into. Again, I think at some points in our life, especially teenagers, are very guilty of having a big ego. But that's the nature of their evolution as a human being. They're learning to think for themselves, they're learning about their personality, and they can get a bit self-absorbed. So I'm not going to focus on that for age reasons. I'm going to talk about adults who have that aura of, I'm better than everyone in this room, and exudes that in everything. Then that's unhealthy ego, leading into narcissism. When you only think about your feelings in a situation, which we can all get caught up at times when we're like stuck in our own shit, we're not paying attention to our family or people in our lives, we can get in that ego and we can become a little bit narcissistic at times. But it doesn't mean that you are a narcissist to your core. It just means you're overwhelmed and can't process anything else that's going on. And that happens in like death, or if you're fighting in a relationship at home and then you try to go to work and you're just thinking about your fight at home, you get sucked into that. Your work might slack, or vice versa. Your work is stressing you out, and then you go home and you try to bond with your significant other and your kids or whatever, and you're just not able to because you're stressed out with work. You know, that kind of self-absorption isn't narcissistic to me. That's an overwhelmed mental health issue, and it's important to know the difference, because so many people, I think by psychiatrists and stuff, they go and they see these people when they're really engulfed in things, and you know, psychologists can weed this out. I'm not saying they're misdiagnosing everybody, but I think that being overwhelmed and being narcissistic is two very different things. So let's look at narcissism. Most people in your dating history, unless you're one of the very lucky ones that either never had an experience with it, or you married the person or whatever, most people will experience in a relationship, whether it be a family member, a friend, or a lover, they'll experience narcissism. It's the biggest form of mental health issue on the fucking planet, and it comes from not knowing the difference between healthy ego and unhealthy ego. You need to be able to participate in the world around you. You need to have compassion. You need to not be the focal point or the optical point of everything. If you find yourself, now this is the part where I don't want you to like berate yourself or put yourself in a box that brings your self-esteem lower or makes you feel bad about yourself. But if you find that you're the one in the group that always needs attention, this is a part of healthy ego that I need you to look at. If you need attention, need all eyes on you, need attention from your lover, your family members, you can go about it in a lot of different ways. And a lot of it comes out in ego. You're not paying attention to me. I need this. I need that. That's where the ultimatums and the demands come from. So when you get to this moment, you find yourself being in a narcissistic bubble, separate the situation. What do you feel about yourself? What do you feel about other people? Can you concentrate more on other people, or do you keep resorting back to yourself? Do you only look at things for gain, or do you look at things as lessons? Because our egos get bruised when we can't separate sorry, I'm still dealing with my brain injury and speech. It's Mercury retrograde. But well, let me make this simple for you. If you find it difficult to stop thinking about yourself or stop talking about yourself in a conversation that is unhealthy ego, that does not mean you're a genuine narcissist. That doesn't mean you're a selfish person. You could be very caught up in your emotions. You could be very caught up in trying to level your life out. Like, what am I going to do for a living? What am I going to do about this situation? Am I going to be single forever? Whatever it is. Am I going to be in a relationship that's toxic forever? We get sucked into things, and we have pockets of our lives where everybody experiences bad ego, which can put us in a narcissistic place. How can you avoid this? Very easily, like I said, sitting down and asking yourself, what do I need? What am I not getting? What would I like to happen? What triggers me? Why do I have to put myself in everything? Can't I just focus on other things? Asking yourself these questions and really sitting and processing with the answers is key to healthy ego and unhealthy ego. Let's get into the scenarios where unhealthy ego is triggered by lifestyle change, jobs, money. You get that success. You get that glory moment, everything you've been working hard for, and absolutely pat yourself on the back. Absolutely, you earned it, and you should celebrate it and be proud. That is not an ego problem. But when you come to the point where it's about a show to the world around you, or it's about things and not, like if you're just collecting things in your life and you're not making memories and you're not contributing to the planet, and you're just buying for yourself and you're just doing for yourself, which is not wrong to do, but I think we can get into a big ego problem and get so sucked into money and things and 3D based shit when we reach a level of success, and then we get that moment of now what? And it becomes topping yourself, topping other people in your industry, topping other people in your family. Everything becomes a competition, which triggers unhealthy ego. The difference between healthy ego and unhealthy ego is you use healthy ego to boost yourself up, to confirm to yourself what you already know. Unhealthy ego prohibits you from advancement, as in it's cutting people out of your life, it's causing conflict, people are looking at you differently, you're becoming a toxic environment within yourself. That's unhealthy ego, and it comes from a million different things. Just keep checking yourself and make sure you are participating in the rest of the world That's what saves you from narcissism and being lost in the wrong kind of ego. We all have ego. It's okay.